follow-up system every agent should have. It would be easy for me to say, hey, click below. I've created the perfect follow-up system. All you have to do is follow XYZ steps and you'll be the best lead conversion agent in the world. But I'm not going to do that by design, because there are literally thousands of those out there on the internet right now, and thousands of people telling you that if you follow it, it will transform your business. And it's just not true. If it was true, then 80%, 87% of the agents in our industry wouldn't fail each year. In fact, it's the opposite. We take it so literally and are always spend our time either following a system, a lead follow-up system to the T, or constantly searching for the next one and never giving one a chance, that we never give ourselves a chance at that accumulation effect and developing results. So I'm going to slow it down a little. This video is definitely on lead conversion. You're in the right place. You don't have to stop. You can stay here. But I'm going to approach it a little differently. Good lead follow-up is about a certain mindset more than following a lead follow-up criteria or a step-by-step system, right? You can call a lead day 1, call, text, email day 2, just email day 3. There's no magic formula, right? What you do need to do is pay attention and listen. When you're on a call with a prospect who's telling you they have a desire to move or sell, we're going to call that a lead. And through your questioning, you should learn when they plan on moving, when they plan on selling in a perfect world, right? And based on that, and based on some other questions that you'll ask, pre-qualifying questions that a good real estate agent asks, if you're looking for a pre-qual script with some questions, I can email that over to you. That'll help you determine how to rate a lead. Just drop a comment below asking for the pre-qual video. But you should be listening to the answers to those pre-qualifying questions when you have a lead, right? If someone's moving in a year, well, you're not going to give them the same lead follow-up as someone that has to sell in the next 30 days, right? Now, that person who has to sell in the next 30 days, they might not be ready to meet with you, even though you're like, well, it takes a week, a couple days to get the home prepared, on the market, photographs, showings, offers, 45 to 60 days to close, right? We know that all in our head. The prospect doesn't, right? So sometimes their timeline's unrealistic, sometimes it's realistic, sometimes they're ready to meet with you, sometimes they're not. When they're not ready to meet, we cannot just assume that they're going to call us back, right? Even people in our database, everybody has real estate agents reaching out. Everybody knows another real estate agent. There's too many of us out there. So if you're just leaving it up to chance, there is a strong possibility you'll fall into that 87%, right? But if you have a plan, right, and you're listening, then you can make sure you're one of the 13% who actually gets to stay in the business. And lead follow-up is where most of your business comes from. So if you're not touching or doing anything with this, you're leaving a tremendous amount of business on the table. So the first thing is be present and listen when you're asking them those pre-qualifying questions and learning about their situation, right? You're going to decipher, are they a 6-month, year, long-term lead that maybe you'll check in with monthly, right? Or are they someone who has to make a decision soon in the next couple weeks? And in that case, you need to be reaching out much more aggressively, daily, every other day. But don't take that too literal. Here's what I mean. If you're listening, you're going to hear why they need to sell. You're going to hear what's holding them back from meeting you right now. And that's okay. We're not going to try to convince them. Good lead follow-up is not convincing someone who doesn't have to sell right now to sell right now. That is not good lead follow-up. Good lead follow-up is listening and providing solutions and education to whatever the challenges are for that person who actually has to sell now. Not the one that has to sell a year from now, the one that has to sell now, right? And doing that in a consistent way to let them know you're here and a resource, right? So if we have someone day one that says they want to sell, but they're not ready to meet with you for XYZ, listen to the why and then follow up again a little sooner than whatever you talked about on the phone, because people tend to move faster in reality than they do on that initial call. So if they say call me next week, call them in 3 days, call them in 2 days. If they say check with me in 3 weeks, call them in a week, right? You don't just let 3 weeks pass and then call them. They're gonna be like, who are you? Because 20 other agents have called them in the meantime, or their life just happened, right? And they're taking their kids to school, or something, family member got sick, or life happened. They don't know who the random real estate agent that talked to them on the phone was. Or even if they're your database, you're just so far removed, someone else could have slipped in and caught their ear. So don't let that happen. Stay in communication. But here's the key. Now we're going to put it all together. So the first step is listen on the pre-qualifying call, the initial call. The second step is stay in contact consistently. Don't wait too long. It's okay. Sooner is better than later. If you're like, is this too soon? Just make the call, right? Those are the first two steps. But here's how you tie it all together. The third piece is bring value to the call. Because if you're bringing value to the call, it's never too fast. It's only too fast if you're like, hey, are you ready to sell yet? And you call them tomorrow. Are you ready to sell yet? Are you ready to sell yet? Right? That is not the right call, right? That's going to push people away. But if you're calling with value, it's never too fast, right? So if that person that told you to call them in 3 weeks, you call them a week later and you just say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know you're a couple weeks out. You wanted me to touch base with you more towards the end of the month. At the same time, I just thought it might be helpful if I told you what's going on in the market right now. Another 10 homes went under contract last week in town. I'm just wondering, is that still your timeline, or has things maybe moved up, or have they slowed down for you, right? So now you're recalibrating where they are in the process, because everybody's process is different. You've given them some free information on the market so that they can understand what's happening. A lot of times people will be very grateful for this. Oh, great, that's good to hear that things are still moving. No, we're still the end of the month. Totally fine, right? But now you're strengthening your relationship so when the time is right, you're in a better position, whether you're competing or not, to help make that process smooth when they are ready, right? If they told you to call them next week, call them in 3 days. Right? Hey, I was just thinking about our call. I know you were getting some painters in there. I should have said this last time. I do have a couple painters that we work with in the area. Are you all set, or do you? Would it be helpful if I gave you a couple numbers just to compare prices and work? Right? Oh no, we've already started the project. Or you know what? I really dropped the ball. Thank you for bringing that information to me, Robert. This will help me get started. Maybe we're a couple weeks back now, but this is helpful. It's going to help me make that first step, right? Or no, we're still looking at next week. Okay, great. Just was thinking of you. Can I still check in with you next week? Great. Again, you're strengthening the bond, right? Maybe you're competing with another agent, and they're like, we need the weekend to think about it, right? We're still interviewing agents. Check in that next day after the next interview, right? Recalibrate. Hey, I know you had a couple other interviews since we met. A lot of sellers who are meeting with multiple agents at a time start to get blurred on what agents are saying. Just wondering if you had any additional questions after meeting with those other agents from when we met last. Again, it's just recalibrating, seeing where you stand, seeing if there's any other value you missed. Two things will happen there. One, you'll learn some value you can add to your process, or you'll be able to talk through any other potential issues that may have come up in some of their other interviews. So the key to lead follow-up, I'm not going to stay away from the automated XYZ. If you have a lead follow-up system you like on our team, we use one we give out, use it as a frame of reference. Very important to have a frame of reference. But more importantly, follow the 3 steps. Be present on the call, right? Listen to their timeline. Offer them value on the follow-up, and keep in touch. Keep in touch a little bit sooner than wherever you left off on that next checkpoint is, so you can be consistent and know where you stand. So try it out for yourself. If this information was useful, click subscribe. My goal is to help agents really grow their business with some evidence-based strategies that I've used and my team has used in the past. Hope this helps.